Right, okay. I've not done a video like this for a long time. It's mainly because the camera that I actually had that was good died in my accident I had on my bike, and then this one was never really the same. Okie dokie. So this video, what I was going to do, we'll use the mouse for this, is I was going to use Rainbow Six, just an example here. Now, I've been a long time console gamer. I haven't really played keyboard and mouse since probably like early 2000s a bit, maybe a bit mid-90s with your Quake 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament 2004. That sort of era is the last time. And then since then, I've been like an Xbox gamer really, PS2. Had Xbox Live on the original, really enjoyed that. That was a hell of an experience. I'm gonna go with iCUE. But anyway, coming to PC this time last year, I still stuck with like using the Nintendo's popular gyro controls. Now I've got quite a lot of those videos on my channel. Now I don't actually often have my, I usually have my headset, but I used to game even with my stereo, so it didn't pick up on certain sounds. But now this is going to be a bit limited for me. I usually have better, you're best to have a setup with the gyro, have this setup in between your legs, give it some room. You have to kind of hold the control a bit different, because if you're like me growing up, you have the controller to your chest and you don't move it. But I'm going to try and put it in front of me here to try and give an example, so you guys can see what I'm kind of doing. Even though, to be honest, it's so kind of minute what you do with the gyro that you might not really see anyway, but whatever. But anyway, I started, I wanted to play this game initially, and it was basically noticeable coming into this, rather than my old TV here was quite laggy, for sure. Right, hang on, they're gonna come after me already. My old TV was laggy, and I would get killed, and then on the replay it would show me sitting there for about half a second before I even saw the guy. And obviously when the guy killed me, I only just saw him, so there was some serious lag going on with my old TV. And I've had this for like 10 years. I've only recently got this monitor, and it's been a game changer. Now you'll have to excuse me because I've not actually used controller in a long time. I use it for some like racing games if I play those, but this game particularly, I've been on keyboard and mouse. Now, I'll go on to that later in the video. And I was just going to do a round or two here on control of the gyro, just to kind of feel out what I used to do really, and then show you some tips and things I've had going into mouse and keyboard and my experience on the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, I've missed my stereo, but it's not good for hearing small sounds, but it sounds great with this. And it's nice with the joystick, we can modulate the speed of my guy so much better than you can on PC. Aiming, obviously not you know, aiming is the other way around, but movement on controller, I've always still found, getting into a bit of the groove, my movement is so much better on controller, and probably will be for a long time. But aiming was always a downside, and coming into controller, that's why I started looking at the gyro. Now, annoyingly, it's very popular in Call of Duty for people using controller to cheat, and they're just cracked, and people genuinely think people on controller can slap PC players. That is genuinely not the case. You can do well, you know, there's this whole argument of aim assist, but no, anyone that knows and played controller knows most of these streamers are cheating, that they're just seemingly biffle and all that, you know, if you know all that sort of thing. And they just cheat, and they're rage hacking practically, if I'm perfectly honest. It's not even cheating, but anyway. But yeah, it's going quite nice. I just did a pre-round of this before to get the feel of it. I'm an inverted player, so down is up and up is down. I've always been like that. I think it was GoldenEye that did that initially, and I've kind of stuck with it ever since. And to be honest, I think it's favoured me. It's actually, if you think about it, even like my head camera I've got, it's one of those, think of it that you push forward to look down, so you push forward to look down, and you push back, tilt back to look up. That's basically it, and it's probably something to do with your brain really at the end of the day. But I think it's not common this day and age, but it's very common in early days of gaming, like the last 10-20 years. I think I've just got 7 more. Oh shit! Oh my, yeah, it definitely can't be as precise, but we can hold angles a bit better. And we can't hold a tilt, you have to keep tapping in and out, but again, that's not too bad. It's one of my favourite guns in this game. I'm actually quite keen to get back into this game. The update, I don't think that's come out yet, but the update for it looks really good. If they can sort out the people that are cheating, it's one of my favourite games on PC, and this is one of the games I wanted to get better at, and the only thing, that's why I wanted to start using mouse and keyboard. But it wasn't without its sort of setbacks, and so that's kind of what I'm going to try and cover here. On basically a long-time console player, I consider myself quite competitive. Oh, he's the last guy. I don't care. No, he's the last guy. Oh damn. Okay. I was kind of planning to have Dr. Disrespect on over here because he's live right now, but playing Elden Ring. Oh, the bass on that's awesome. I've got a subwoofer in the corner. Okay, well, I think the nice thing with Steam here is I can literally just click the mouse and the mouse works. This controller's still connected, but as long as we don't use it, as long as we don't use the controller or pick it up, it will stick to whatever you're using. So if I pick up the controller now, because it's got the gyro enabled, it will know it's there. If I drop the controller and move the mouse, it will, oh, we're doing another one, okay. I didn't mean to, I was going to retry that and do the same thing, but we're going again here on a different map, so I quite like this map. Let's say this game, I've put only a couple hundred hours. I am still very much a noob in this game, but I really do enjoy it. It's got some very toxic community, but equally it's got a really nice community underneath that as well. Some really good team players. If you can thin out the cheating and this sort of thing, it's great fun. It's really good fun, very satisfying. Got a lot of suspense and tension, being like the last person. So coming to mouse and keyboard, so big deal for me was that I just hadn't touched the keyboard in years, and the idea of having to push a key to move just felt so clunky. Now this game came in quite nicely because it's quite slow, and you're not so having to rush in and, you know, get lots of kills and things. My first game coming to PC was actually coming back into Unreal Tournament, but it's such a sad state on Epic that I didn't bother with it. Just playing it long term, just did it just to get used to the mouse and keyboard. And something I kept seeing, I was looking at like what do top recommended like gamers, what's their sensitivity on the mouse, what do they use, what are their button layouts, you know, what works for them. And basically just having to figure out what's comfortable for me in sort of the mix of it all as well. Now, as I said, I did play mouse and keyboard, but not for a long time, and I wouldn't consider myself as good, but I'm definitely a bit better, I think, than I am on controller already. It's just a matter of having the muscle memory to like remember what keys to press. Now, something I basically found is having Alt for me as crouch works, and having that to do between the space and Alt, and then having Control say as walk, or if I do have like Alt is temporary, like a hold it crouch, and then Control will be a toggle crouch for like Call of Duty. And Call of Duty Warzone actually helped me in a faster paced environment get used to this a lot quicker. Now, immediately my DPI on the mouse is 800 DPI, and I recommend it. A lot of people have lower than that, but I have 800. I have found that bang on. As someone that quite likes a high sensitivity on the joystick and controllers, that feels quite natural. You might see these guys really swiping. Now, if I do that, you can see how much I move. So that's how sensitive my mouse is. But I find myself more of a wrist aimer. That's just what's comfortable. I'm sure I could train myself differently, but I tried 400 DPI and I just couldn't do it long term. What else have I found? Like I utilize, we might have to restart this one. Stop it. Alright. I found utilizing, say, options like tab, sometimes caps lock, obviously shift is pretty standard. Q and E, R is typically reload. The mouse is where it gets a bit interesting for me. F I don't use so much unless it's a secondary utility. If I have to have it as like open door, pick up item, it will be E. That's just comfortable for me. This game's different though. This game is all F, and that's because Q and E are the lean toggle features, and that feels really good, to be honest, in this game. And what else have I got? I don't use 1 and 2. I don't use 1 and 2 to switch weapons in this. I use that on the scroll wheel. I'll get to the mouse in a moment. What else? I think C is go prone, and I usually use X for like a special. So like in Apex Legends, that will be like my ult, and then Q will be my like my skill, as it were, like grappling hook or whatever you do in that teleport, you know, that sort of thing. Usually have B as toggle mode. They typically have V as melee. I can't do that. G as grenade if I can, and that's pretty standard form. Now the mouse is where it gets kind of interesting for me, because that's where I've had to have a lot of my muscle memory come in. Now I have reload as this first mouse button here. I think it's basically set to that, and some games you can have 2 buttons, and it's R and that, so it's either or, but I don't use R. Since coming in, we click that, and then the second button further forward is melee, and again that feels really nice where I need it, and it's with my thumb. And that's because my thumb used to do the reloading and the melee on controller. I didn't really think about that until afterwards, but I think that's why I like that. I've got a little clutch button here that I can reformat. I've got that reformatted to F, and sometimes in some games that is really useful, but I rarely use it. Scroll up and down is change weapon, so up and down both just change weapon. These 2 buttons are usually typical DPI sensitivity buttons. I don't use that. I did for a while, but I say I don't like it. I stick with 800. So I've got forward map to T, which is push to talk, and I've got the back marked to G. Now, other than push to talk a bit, I don't really use the G button, but it is pretty useful when I have thought about it. Now for ping, you've got the mouse scroll wheel here. It's got a click in button, but it's also got a push to the left and a push to the right button. Now that can get quite tricky, particularly if you're a bit clumpy and big-handed like me. And I have thought that you could push it to the right, have it push to talk. You could push it to the left to say, or push to the right to reload, push to the left to push to talk, and then click down to ping. I have got them all set as scroll wheel click. So all 3 of those are scroll wheel click. The mouse scroll wheel itself we can adjust on this mouse, which is pretty awesome, and I've got it pretty stiff. It's like 1 wheel down from the top, and it's a pretty stiff wheel, so you can't just spin it quite freely. That in sort of turn of everything, that's pretty much it. I usually have like backspace as menu, obviously escape is that, and that's it. And I found basically having this sort of sensitivity and wrist aiming has been very comfortable coming in over. But I didn't start out like that. I started out trying like high sensitivity, and the weird thing is some of these guys, and if it works for you, fair enough, but some of these guys have got I'm meant to be I'm meant to be planting the bomb. I'm just not thinking about it. I'm just doing this as a, you know, background thing. But some of these guys have got really low sensitivity in game, and then they'll have 400 DPI, and I just don't know how you'll do it. You're literally going to be doing this. No way. I'm too fat to be doing that, if I'm honest. So my sensitivity in here is 25. Yeah, not much to it. My gadget again in this, so is X and tab in this, and then yeah, I've got 5 and 6 as the camera devices, and I think, what does 4 do? Oh, that's just another one of those. Okay, yeah, I don't use that. Okay, well, we're planting it. This is usually kind of difficult. You can usually get 1 bomb off maybe, but I say, this is meant to be background. I pretty much said what I've said. So if you watched this video, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll kind of finish this off here really. I don't know if I've really shown off the difference. I've got a lot more footage when I started this channel about a year ago, doing more game side of things. I'd like to do more driving. That is something I'd like to do. But currently my car's off the road, and I haven't really got the money I'd like in it. I need some more wheels really. Oh. So right now I'll use C and we'll go prone for a bit, but
30 seconds remaining in bond defusal cycle.
The mouse has been the biggest game changer. I had a cheap mouse to begin with, and it was alright, but this mouse, I ummed and ahed about it for ages. I looked at Logitech, I looked at this, and I'm really happy with this mouse. This mouse is awesome. Really like it. That's part of the reason I wanted to do the video as well, really, because if I can encourage anybody that's maybe thought about doing what I did and being like, oh, it's too difficult, it feels horrible, play games like this, and even do this mode. This is the training mode in Rainbow Six. It's not competitive, it's free, well, essentially if you've got the game, and it does different routines, and it's a great way. The bots here will give you a challenge for your accuracy, for sure. This is one of the better ways of doing it. And then something that I did, because I'd never played it before, is I went and threw myself into Call of Duty Warzone, and I'd never played that. I hadn't played a Call of Duty since like Modern Warfare 2. Wow. And so, because it was a new game to me, I hadn't played it on controller. I wasn't used to specific muscle memory. It was all new, and so it was all just figure it out. And this, as I said, the controls are basically the same as what I've got in this, give or take. Q will be stun, and then G will be grenade. 2 is armor, I think, and then what else is there in that game? Is there a heal? I can't remember anymore. I don't think you auto heal, don't you? I've not played in a while. There's too many cheaters in that game. I was excited for the new map, and then they actually ruined it. I didn't expect that. I think the biggest downfall of Caldera is it needs more trees. If it was more like a jungle, like you had bushes everywhere, dense trees, you know, I would be down for that. Some nice forestry sort of jungle, but it's really open. The trees are already spaced out, and yeah, it's pretty clunky. Can I do this without getting shot? Oh shit. But no, I recommend it. The controller is still great for some games, like Gears of War, you know, racing games, and some third-person games particularly just work better with a controller. Doc's playing Elden Ring at the minute with a controller. No doubt, I can imagine it's probably easier and better suited. But games like this, even though controller is doable, mouse and keyboard is so much better. And I picked it up. I would say it took me about 2 to 3 weeks. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks, and then it started being like, yeah, we can do this. You know, this is actually feeling good. I was starting to hit flicks. I was starting to land shots where I want to. And yeah, it's just been generally overall very, very fun. And my muscle memory is all clicked, and you'll find that you might be able to do certain things, but then you'll get pushed into a corner or rushed, and you have to use, like, randomly, you'll have to use, like I had back there, you'll have to press, like, your little finger will have to press C to crouch or something, or go prone when it's not normal, and it might, you know, it's just getting the muscle memory in these sort of tense situations can take a good while. So I'm still picking it up, but I hope to do some more footage of this game. There's some sort of Genshin at the minute. I'd like to do more going forward, and maybe a bit more Call of Duty. But I don't know how if they can sort out the cheating. It seems to me they endorse cheaters in that game. Basically, that seems to be the sad reality of it. God knows why. They're probably going to come this way. Can we actually do this? That would be quite remarkable. Ooh! Ooh! Holy! Where are they?
30 seconds.
Yeah, they're doing it. No. There we go. Reload. I've got no ammo. No! I didn't even see him. I didn't know I ran out of ammo. Oh, fail. But anyway, no, thank you very much. If you watched this video, thank you very much. I don't know if I've sort of gone over that clearly. I'll see. If I did, I'll put the video up. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. If you like this video, please leave a like, because I haven't done a video like this for ages. My channel used to be about doing videos like this. So cool. Bye.